Before I get into this, I just want to say this video isn't about making jokes or turning it into drama. This is a serious situation and my focus is on the victim and her getting justice. So, the situation with David just got a lot more complicated. I know that there's a lot going on and there's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors popping around. So, I just want to make it clear for everyone to follow along. And I want to start off with the initial report that happened last week, the update that followed this week, and then just any extra stuff that's been provided by people, whether it was from Reddit or Discord or screenshots or anything like that. So we'll touch base on anything that has surfaced, any new updates today, and kind of go from there. So just a quick background for anybody who doesn't know David, he's a singer and songwriter. He first blew up on TikTok in 2022. He later was signed to a major label. He's known for his viral hits Here With Me and Romantic Homicide. Recently, though, his name has come up in serious reports that we're going to break down in this video. That's just who David is, but recently this whole conversation around him has just shifted. The first major news report came out on September 8th, and that's where this entire situation begins. So last week, authorities made a grim discovery when a decomposing body that was later identified as a 15-year-old girl was found in the trunk of his Tesla. It was registered to him, and it was found at an impound lot in Hollywood. So the car was brought to the impound lot after someone had reported it abandoned, and it was in Hollywood Hills. And the police were called after workers reported a strong odor coming from the vehicle. And the body was discovered inside a bag in the Tesla's front trunk. So the remains weren't intact and they were badly decomposed. Detectives at first believed that the body was female, and the remains are so decomposed, though, that the authorities have said it's going to take some time to properly identify the body and just to figure out how she died, so cause of death. Here's what the medical examiner office said. The decedent was found severely decomposed inside a vehicle. She appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. And if you're in the LA area, it was a little warm these last couple of weeks, so that could also have furthered the decomposition. And it's just terrible that that's how she was found. ABC News had reported that the Tesla is one of several vehicles owned by the musician and that many people have access to his vehicles. Despite that grim discovery, David initially decided to continue his world tour, but a spokesperson for him has announced that he was going to fully cooperate with the investigation. So that's what came out. And I also had heard that he had reported the car stolen, so people were kind of just like speculating on that. But this is the initial report that came out. So the new update that had came out this week, these are new details that the authorities have identified the body as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. They indicated previously that she had a tattoo on her right index finger that said shh, SHHH. During a conversation with her mother last week, TMZ confirmed that she does indeed have that tattoo on her finger. And they actually also pointed out that David has a matching tattoo on his finger as well. And his is in black ink and Rivas is in red ink, which I don't think matters in this situation, but that's just the facts that's out there. Celeste Rivas, his brother, also told NBC Los Angeles that she disappeared after she left the family home to see a movie with David. So here's her missing poster. All the details. She was reported missing last year, and that's what we have so far. Despite all that stuff, again, David had continued his world tour from last week. He was cooperating with the investigation, but we just got news this week that he has canceled his world tour. Investigators also served a warrant on the home in Hollywood Hills on Wednesday, where he was known to have stayed at. And a spokesperson for the artist said that, he would cooperate. But after everything that surfaced on Wednesday, all the new details, the representative declined a comment. And they just said that they don't want to interfere with the investigation. So they don't want to provide any other details or statements. Here's where it starts getting tricky with all this alleged evidence. I just want to say that again, that it's alleged. It's not concrete yet. Yes, there's names and screenshots and posts, but again, until we know for sure from the police, like, this is all alleged, okay? So, a screenshot from a Redditor who commented even before the news came out of who the body was. Here is the screenshot. And here's what it said. So somebody had already speculated who the body was, and surprise, surprise, they ended up clocking the entire situation. It was like pretty spot on. There's alleged photos of them together. There's the tattoo. Um, a lot of fans have noticed that like the video for Romantic Homicide was released on Celeste Rivas's birthday, and that the girls in all his videos kind of have the same look, which are similar to Celeste Rivas. Apparently, in his Discord, he spoke about being really into gore videos. People have commented that they've met him and gotten weird vibes from him. Friends from the victim were saying that David would pay them off to keep them quiet. Here's a photo of this alleged situation. There's an unreleased song named Celeste. Here's the lyrics. It's just all alleged evidence, right? There's like screenshots, Discord chats, there's text messages from Celeste, allegedly. There's confirmation of when they started dating. People have gone back to the Discord chats, back to people who had him on his close friends were showing screenshots of like, I think this is this girl from this time. And some of that dates back to 2022. So if we do the math, 3 years ago, she was 12. And yes, he's only 20. 3 years ago, he would have been 17. But going back to when they supposedly first started talking, people found evidence back in 2021 when she was 11. They also went back and said that when she joined his Discord, she was only 10. So as far as we know, they could have been talking for 5 years, which, yes, he would have been 15 and she would have been 11. But that is still a really big age gap. So I just want to point that out. So again, I just want to reiterate that this video is not for jokes. The focus is on the victim and getting her justice. It's your personal choice if you want to continue listening to him. And just remember, so far right now, the LAPD has said that this is not a homicide investigation because cause of death is unknown. So that can completely change. But again, until they know her cause of death, we're just not sure. And there's a lot of speculation with like TMZ coming out with details, news outlets saying and focusing on but we don't know for sure. So as for me, I'm just shocked, really, really shocked that somebody, Gen Z, who's just so young, whose career just seemed to have blossomed and taken off from TikTok, it's shocking to me that he's wrapped up in this situation or he's the one that caused it. I'm a little bit angry and upset that her friends didn't say anything sooner if they knew this was going on. And I'm really, really confused on how her mom knew her boyfriend's name and the statement that her brother made to the news about how she went missing after she went to see a movie with him. It was a little confusing just how they allowed this to happen. And I don't know if maybe they thought like he was closer in age to her, but I mean, like, it's still a weird situation. Apparently, some of her friends were saying that they knew she was taking trips to LA with David, but she was considered a runaway last year when she was missing from her missing poster. But it's a little confusing that her mom just didn't know. It's just a little weird. But her brother did say, and this is not confirmed. This is just like from somebody saying that they spoke to the brother, but the brother said that she just wouldn't speak up about the things. Like, they would ask her about David and she just would keep quiet and just not say anything. I went down a rabbit hole too about like how she's into Hello Kitty a lot and how he uses a lot of those graphics in his stuff. Like, his profile picture was Hello Kitty. The clothes which she was wearing, like just little clips of people saying, hey, I think this is her from like a year ago or 2 years ago or even earlier this year. There's like photos of them together, small TikTok clips of her always wearing a hoodie and hiding her face. It's kind of nuts. And then I just want to remind everybody too, like celebrities aren't meant to be put on a pedestal. Like, we see their social media presence or like, if they're singers, like when they're out performing or just the little snips that they give to news outlets here and there, like we see that portion, but we don't know who they truly are. And we don't know what goes on with that. And a lot of the times people take advantage of other people when they're in a bigger position of power. So like they have more money, social status, whatever, like it just happens. And this whole situation with David, like, people were commenting that the age difference wasn't that crazy if they were both like underage kind of thing first when they were talking, but that's a pretty big age gap for somebody in high school to talk to somebody who's like barely finishing elementary school, starting middle school. Like that is a really big imbalance. And it's like a grooming thing, right? Like you start um, older guys or older boys talk to these girls to groom them and make sure that they manipulate them, because it's easy for girls who are younger like to get manipulated like that, even for boys to get manipulated. Like they're a lot younger, like they're getting into that little rebellious teen phase, and like things just go on. But this whole situation gave me the ick. I think I just am gonna stop listening to his music as well, because I'm just kind of disgusted. And as a parent, like I am completely shocked, completely. Um, it's one thing for allegations to come out, that he was grooming and dating a minor and all that, but for her to be found in the way she was found is just completely vile. And I am so sorry to her family. And it's just horrible, horrible all around. And for people to make memes about it and jokes is just, again, like disgusting. It's really horrifying. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. This whole thing, I think, just made me want to talk about it because it was just so like out of nowhere, almost to me at least. I was never on his Discord or anything. I didn't follow him on TikTok. I listened to him in a Spotify mix, and then I thought, this music is good, and I listened to his album that came out earlier this year, and it was good. And now I'm just like, who would have known, right? Just shocking, shocking, shocking. So I don't know if you think, like, do you guys think that this new info clears things up or just makes things messier? Um, what about like all that stuff with like her considered a runaway, all that stuff on TikTok, on Discord? Like, what do you guys think about that? I just want to end this video by saying that it's important to remember that there's a real person at the center of this. Celeste Rivas. She was a real person. She was somebody's child, somebody's friend, somebody's sister. So I hope the focus stays on supporting her and just making sure that she gets justice. The situation isn't about David's feelings or like if you feel bad for still supporting his music. This is about Celeste Rivas and finding out what actually happened to this girl and who is responsible and making sure that they pay the price for that.